This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Carbonite. Coming up, Jeff fills us in on his trip to New York and what he thought of Need for Speed Most Wanted.
I spent a few days last week in New York City, the Big Apple. Perhaps you've heard of it, the city that never sleeps.
Bingo, bingo.
At a big Electronic Arts event where they showed off a bunch of their games coming out this year and next year.
Ooh.
Fortunately, there's a lot of them I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Yeah.
But I can tell you about one that'll be out in a couple of weeks that I played. They had the full version, the done, complete game. You can sit down and start from the beginning.
Oh.
Need for Speed Most Wanted, the new Criterion created.
Now, is this the one that we saw where the guy like can jump out of the car and do the sort of running quick time thing, or was that last year?
No, that was the
like
runs.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was the run.
Was it?
The one we all played in a room. Is the
Yeah,
one
this
that-
is Most Wanted.
yeah.
This is, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Time
okay.
travel's hard.
I know, well, dude, I know. Believe me, I was like, it's the same booth every year at E3.
It is.
It's the same back room.
No, this is Criterion. The
Oh no,
guys
this
that
is the
made
one with
Burnout.
the computers, and we went in the back room
Yeah.
and played. Oh yeah,
Yes. Guys that made
Love that.
Burnout. This is basically Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
Born again under the Need for Speed license with the thing that you love the most, police chases.
Yeah.
Okay, so I played this game for 2 hours. They couldn't, they had to pull me away from it. And I literally got to start from the beginning. So I'm here to tell you
The
my
beginning is
impressions.
awesome.
It really is, the
Yeah.
beginning really is awesome. It is all, you're in a city.
Were you playing single player?
I played single player and I played multiplayer.
So how's the single player experience? Because we played the multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah.
And then multiplayer, as you guys remember, is that like go from event to event.
Get to the race. Once everybody's here, it starts.
Yeah, and even when the race is over, you can still take people down, and
Yeah.
it's just this big. It reminded me of playing like a skateboarding game where you're
Yeah.
just like hanging out, doing fun
And
stuff.
Burnout
it-
Paradise. That's what we did in Burnout
Right.
Paradise. Hey,
But-
can you do the loop-de-loop? Oh, you did the loop-de-loop.
I don't think didn't Burnout Paradise like populate your next, like come up with your next activity that you were doing.
You had your
chose,
list,
right.
and we were like, hey, go over there because it's the best place to pull off a 580 or whatever. That's the only.
Well, but this one like gives you a new challenge, and
Yeah.
then it's it keeps dynamically coming up with new challenges to do.
cool. So cool.
It is fantastic. But the single player.
Yeah.
So you're in this big open world, which, by the way, looks gorgeous. I remember we all played it on PCs,
Oh, yeah.
and we were
Yeah.
commenting how great it was a PC. This was the true 360 build that I was playing. So it wasn't as high res as those PC versions that we played at E3, but it still looked great, great, and it's tons of really fun effects. Like it seemed like many more than in the most recent Burnout game. Tires splashing up water into my windshield, steam coming out of things, like lots of really great environment effects. Anyway, so you're driving around this city right away. There's no menu. You're in a car in a city. Okay. You have at any given time. It's so slick. You can push right on the D-pad, and it pulls up a little menu in your upper left-hand corner that lets you pick a race. It shows you a few races that you can choose from. You just go right again on the race, select whichever race you want, and it'll tell you, okay, go to this point to start that race. Or you can scroll down and you want to change into a different car that you've already discovered in the world. You just go down and you change your car. You want to upgrade your car. So the way you get new cars in this game is by finding them. They're parked in the world in different places, and they have their awesome like official logo, like the Porsche has the cool Porsche shield over it, and they're parked there. And the ones that have the logos over them are the ones you can discover. So you like see one off in the distance, you have to get to it somehow.
You have to take it down, or you just
No,
have
it's
to
parked.
see it?
You just have to get to it, and then you can drive it, and then you can change into it at any point from that quick drop-down menu. And the races will award you upgrades to your car, so you can get nitrous, you can get better suspension, you can get better tires, all that cool stuff. But you can change that anytime on the fly, anytime you want, even in the middle of challenges. You can change change
That's
your car,
cool.
change whatever you want. I was doing that in the multiplayer. I was changing my car. There are certain
restrictions.
Well, yeah, there are certain times when it's like you have to be in a sports car, so you can't just hop into anything. But I was discovering pickups and SUVs, and I found this thing. I even asked the developer, I'm like, is this a real car? Because it looked like a go-kart, but it's an Aero. Do you know what that is? It looks like a Formula One car, but stripped away with anything. So it's like, it looks like a go-kart.
Weird.
I was playing with that a lot for a long time. Yeah, so I love how quick and easy and accessible that menu system is at all times.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really makes it so simple, and you're never outside of that driving in a city environment. And then it's got all that auto log stuff that we love,
Yes,
where you're
yes,
competing
yes,
with your
yes,
friends.
right.
But it even integrates that better with the fiction of the world, because now, you remember when there would be like stretches of road where it would, you compare your speed down that road to a friend. Well, now it's got these speed cameras like we have in LA where it'll take your photo. So you know that you have passed one because it goes flash. It's it makes a sound like a camera taking your picture, and then it'll tell you your stat. So once you've discovered where those speed cameras are, they show up on your mini maps. You can always go by, and then it'll automatically show you what your friends have done.
Oh, that's cool, man.
What about single player race types? Were there other like takedown mode and chase mode, I guess?
Yeah, and anytime that you pass a cop or slam into a cop, if you speed by a cop next to one of those cameras, the cops will start chasing you, and you have to elude the cops before you can go on to your races. I got into some amazing chases with cops. There's those billboards that we love from Burnout, where you have to smash through the billboards. And everything you're doing, both in single player and in multiplayer, are earning you speed points. And speed points are what you use to upgrade, and is our currency. So, and it goes back and forth between single player and multiplayer. So you're always earning speed points for everything that you do. Drifting and going into oncoming traffic and longest jump and doing races, and everything's earning you speed points all the time.
All that stuff. Yeah. That's awesome.
You're just invited to play in the world, and then you can jump in and out of official events all the time. My only disappointment was
no Cheese Whiz.
There was no Cheese Whiz. One of the great joys of the Burnout games is when you take someone down and it does that swooping camera and you get to see them. Yeah, I mean it does that when you crash, but it doesn't. I didn't see it ever happen when
you took someone
when
down.
I took someone else down. And I asked the developer about that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it happens just a lot more rarely." I never saw it happen. I played for 2 hours.
That's
so
rare.
That's pretty rare. Yeah, I mean, I took some more notes. Let me see if there's anything else. The soundtrack was really cool. The first thing that I heard when I sat down and put the headphones on at the station.
Gum Gum style.
Yeah, right. That would
have been cool. Was one of my favorite songs of all time, Baba O'Reilly by The Who, but like a remixed, like.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Everything looks great. There was I went on a high-speed chase and like pulled into a airline, like a defunct airstrip with broken down jets that I could fly through the middle of or drive through the middle of their chassis.
That's cool.
And
that's cool.
There were amazing jumps. Part of the multiplayer thing was like, how far can someone jump? And just like when we played at E3, after you do your jump and set your length, you can just try to keep taking people down and preventing them from jumping, rather than just waiting around till everybody's done.
Yeah, that's so funny.
My gosh, I cannot wait. It comes out in 2 weeks. The game looks so polished, and it's got that Criterion touch that we all love.
I'm excited.
So much.
It's been a while since I've had a sort of multiplayer,
racing game.
Yeah. Hey guys, hop on. Let's just
It's gonna be really interesting because Forza Horizon is coming out around the same time, and supposedly it's the same developers, I think, as Blur.
Blur.
Which I think we all liked, but it was
Blur,
kind of
like
underrated.
racing-y.
Yeah. And it's very different than Forza. It's much more of that arcadey style.
Interesting.
So hopefully it's not the same thing with Blur and Split Second, where they both come out at the same time and they cancel each other out. But I also wanted to mention, since we have some extra time, the rest of my New York trip. I saw a couple of Broadway shows. Both of which were really good. One of them was called Grace, and it was starred Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah, I saw your tweet about that.
And Michael Shannon, who's in your favorite show, Boardwalk Empire.
Yep.
And Ed Asner.
Oh well, come on.
And it was a really great show. If you're in New York, I highly recommend it. I really had a good time watching it. It starts with and it happens again later in the show, as if you were watching something and you put it on reverse. So you see them do like all the movements in reverse.
Weird.
It's spectacular to see that live on stage, and they say the lines. They say them forward, but they say them in opposite order.
Oh,
and so the
interesting.
very first scene of the play is this shocking, amazing scene, but you see it happen in reverse, almost like the beginning of Memento.
Right.
Yeah.
But Rudd is really the one carrying that.
Yeah.
And seeing him do those movements, and then later on you see him do it in forward, and it's exactly the same.
that's funny.
And the performance that I went to actually had a talk back, and they were talking about how they literally videotaped themselves
doing
it, and so they could plan out all the movements in reverse.
Wow.
That was fantastic. And the other show I saw was Peter and the Starcatcher.
Oh yeah, what is that? I saw you photoed the playbill.
Yeah, it's based on a series of children's books that were written as prequels to Peter Pan. So it's how Peter Pan became Peter Pan, how Captain Hook became Captain Hook. It's sort of like Batman Begins for Peter Pan.
That's cool.
Amazing. I couldn't recommend it higher. If you get a chance to see Peter and the Starcatcher, it blew me away. What they're able to do on stage with just a few people and some very, very limited props.
Yeah.
Like they have a rope, and that rope is like 30 different things throughout the show.
Oh, that's cool.
Like two people will hold two ends of it, and it'll be like a doorway, and they'll walk through the doorway, and then it'll transform into a window, and they'll look through the window.
Weird.
It is so theatrical and so full of ideas and so funny. It is spectacular. So that's sort of my New York trip
Nice, in a nutshell.
in a nutshell. And
Capped off with running from the cops.
there'll be lots
Like most
more
New York trips.
there'll be lots more EA games as the embargoes go up on all the other stuff that I saw. But Need for Speed comes out very soon, and boy,
wait.
it looks so strong from
My
what I
favorite game
saw.
of the year.
I have a need for the speed.
It's most wanted.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Carbonite. Carbonite Online Backup is auto magic, baby. Cloud backup for the computer files at your home office, your small business. Just set it up once, and Carbonite will protect your computer files so that you can stay focused on running your beeswax, which is what you should be doing, running it. No hardware required, which is a bonus. Carbonite, getting your lost files back is easy. Bam! Your employees can even access their backed up files on their smartphones or iPads.
I wish I had employees.
All
Or
with your
files that were
free
important.
Carbonite app. Carbonite is the better backup plan for your home office or small business. Start your free trial at carbonite.com with the offer code TRS today. And if you decide to buy, you'll get 2 bonus months for free. That's carbonite.com. The offer code for 2 bonus months is TRS.
That's the BOMOs.
The BOMOs. All right, people. Peace.
Peace.
Out.
Join us tomorrow for our review of Paranormal Activity 4.
Today's Twitter question sent in with the hashtag #TRSQ, sent in by Nathan Freer at @NFreer. Inception. Wham! You have the ability to insert one idea into one person's mind. What idea and which person?
Victoria's Secret model and Sleep With Me. I'm sorry, that was easy. It was too easy.
No, but that's a valid choice. Dan?
I don't know. What do you got?
You gotta look on your face.
I would like to
all
go
you have
into
is,
myself and give me the answer to this question.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Really?
maybe
You
rich,
don't have, like-
rich guy and the idea is give me all your money?
Yeah, the trick was how do I come up with an answer better than that one?
Right.
Right.
What did you come up with?
And Jeff did not come up with that either.
Oh, you definitely see the differentiation between the two of us. I want sex, and you want money.
And together, we're a wealthy, happy man.
What are you doing, Dan? Dan's like, I want a cheeseburger.
Oh, thank you.
You don't have anything? Seriously, you have nothing?
I have, what is the thing?
What do you want to accept, like Spielberg to tell you to
That's,
fuck?
yeah, but that's, okay. Silver, give me a career.
It's not gonna work if you talk like that.
Yeah.
Spielberg's like, I had the weirdest dream.
Yeah.
It's just like,
This
He's like,
slightly
give me a
touched
career.
idiot. This slightly touched idiot from the valley handed me an ice cream cone and then said something which I couldn't even understand, really.
And then he smashed the ice cream in my face.
Yeah. And then he yelled, Poltergeist. Anyway, thank you, Nathan Freer.